You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Breaking news this morning, a suspect is in custody for the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Veronica Macias. President Trump made that announcement 2 days after Kirk's death. And here's what we know this morning. Law enforcement officials have identified now the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. The governor of Utah said that the suspect hinted to his family that he killed Kirk. Investigators said that they believe Robinson acted alone. He faces several charges, including capital murder. Reporter Andres Gutierrez begins our coverage.
We got him.
Authorities identified the suspected gunman in Wednesday's fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson of Utah.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
The development comes after the FBI released surveillance video overnight of a person seen on a roof, then jumping down.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" "Catch!"
Essentially, somebody that was very close to him turned him in.
President Trump broke the news on Fox and Friends, saying a minister and the father of the suspect helped in the arrest.
I hope he's going to be found guilty, I would imagine, and I hope he gets the death penalty. What he did, Charlie Kirk was the finest person. He didn't deserve this.
The 31-year-old conservative activist was shot and killed Wednesday at Utah Valley University during one of the college campus debates that he became famous for. On Thursday, Vice President J.D. Vance, who is a close friend of Kirk's, along with the second lady and Kirk's widow, escorted his body home to Arizona on board Air Force Two.
Kirk, of course, leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. President Trump has confirmed he will attend the funeral. The governor of Utah said Robinson had expressed opposition to Kirk's viewpoints. He also said violence is not the answer to political differences.
Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country. And violence is tragic everywhere, and every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk, but it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much.
We also know that the gray Dodge Challenger that may have been used by the shooter was seen parked outside of a home in Utah. According to local CBS affiliate KUTV, this is believed to be the home of the suspect. Former FBI Assistant Director Brian Botig joined CBS News 24/7 to explain what's next in this investigation.
Yeah, the physical chase of a suspect, of a fugitive, is now over. So that adrenaline dump is behind us. But there is so much work that needs to be done now. A lot of subpoenas and search warrants that are going to be obtained to gather evidence from service providers, telecommunications providers, and different locations where he may have worked and or visited. So there is an extraordinarily difficult and complex investigation that's ahead of us. And we still have to ensure that there aren't co-conspirators here. There aren't people who may have provided him this ammunition or this weapon knowing what he was going to do.
Meanwhile, FBI Director Kash Patel praised the pace of the investigation and said that the gunman was apprehended in historic time.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory.
However, the FBI director has been under scrutiny for his messaging during the manhunt for Kirk's killer. Here's CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarlane weighing in on the issue.
Well, it's led to criticism of the FBI director, who has been taking heat publicly and, of all places, on social media for the communication strategy used in the initial hours. The FBI director, who you heard from during the news conference, Kash Patel, had posted Wednesday night on social media that a subject was in custody for this shooting. Later, he had to post about 90 minutes later that that person had been released and was not connected to the shooting. But any of this happening on social media before law enforcement was to announce it in a more traditional setting, that's a change. And there's been criticism that if you announce somebody's in custody prematurely or incorrectly, you give a false sense of security to the public, which is a problem. Now, the president going on cable TV this morning to be the first to announce an arrest, that's untraditional as well, to put it mildly. Doesn't mean there's any issue there, but legal analysts immediately responded saying that is fodder for pretrial motions about jury pools, about defense strategy. All of that is a variable. We're not sure how that plays out because this is the first time that's ever happened.
Some Republicans here in the Bay Area, they're paying tribute to Charlie Kirk. Here's a look at the Coachella overpass in Lafayette yesterday. You could see a group of people out there gathering. They hang several American flags in honor of Kirk. It was organized by the MAGA Patriots of Contra Costa.
He was a great patriot, and it's so sad to see what happened to him. I know the nation is definitely in mourning. A lot of people don't feel that way, but I think a good majority of America does.
And of course, we'll continue to monitor the very latest developments with this story. We'll bring you the latest both on air and on our website, kpix.com, plus streaming on the CBS News app. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, thieves targeting an East Bay pawn shop. They got a whole lot more than what they bargained for. Employees armed with guns themselves. We talked to the owner of a neighboring store about the deadly shootout.
Nobody knows when it's going to happen, but it does happen over here a lot.
Plus, a massive encampment in the South Bay, almost completely cleared, but some say those living there aren't getting the help that they were promised.
It's like they don't really care. Like they act like they care about everybody out here, but they really don't.
The hurdles for the people who are being left behind.
In the Bay Area, a new WNBA franchise is taking flight. Catch this first-in-a-lifetime inaugural season as the Golden State Valkyries play live on KPIX and Pix Plus.
Warmer weather is on the horizon for us all throughout the Bay Area. But let's start off in our inland spots where we're going to notice that moderate heat risk the most. As we head into the next couple days, high pressure is starting to roll its way in. That warms us up, it dries us up. Relative humidity is finally going to drop. I know it was a muggy week for us this week, but now we're talking about dry conditions in upper 90s right around the corner. At the same time, you head over into the Bay, closer to San Francisco and Oakland, we're going to notice that warm up too, just not nearly as much as our inland spots. 70s turning into 80s, sunnier skies right around the corner.
BART has confirmed it's reached a multi-million-dollar settlement after one of its police officers shot a woman last year during a traffic stop in Union City. It all happened back in November of 2022 when BART police pulled over Jasmine Gao for reportedly doing donuts in the parking lot. After concluding Gao was not responsible, officers questioned her about her registration after learning it was allegedly expired. As the officers were trying to get her out of her car, Gao drove away, leading Officer Nicholas Pobletti to shoot her in the torso. She survived. BART claimed Gao had dragged an officer with her car, but body cam footage, as you're seeing, released in December, reveals that never happened. The family says this settlement provides some accountability from BART. Well, it helps that BART has taken a measure of responsibility in resolving this case without litigation. Ms. Gao's injuries will be with her for the rest of her life. The shooting should have never happened, and this settlement does provide some accountability for that. And in a joint statement from BART and the family, BART acknowledges that no officer was dragged when Gao drove away, and they issued a notice of intent to fire the officer who was involved. We're learning of another attempted robbery leading to gunfire, this time at a jewelry store in Milpitas. The owner of the store, located on Landes Avenue, fired a gun, scaring off a group of suspects on Wednesday afternoon. The business now boarded up with broken glass where someone apparently shot through that window. Police say up to 15 suspects were rushed through the store, and tried to steal the jewelry. But the owner opened fire before they could take anything away, and the suspects also ran off. It's unclear how many shots were fired and if anyone was hurt. That's all happening before a deadly shootout over in Oakland, which broke out between store employees and the thieves trying to rob a pawn shop out there. It happened late Wednesday night. 2 of the suspects now dead and several others involved. They were rushed to the hospital. The surviving suspects have been booked on murder charges. It all happened at the Cash for Gold store over on International Boulevard in East Oakland, just off of West Hedgenberg Road. That's where it's a mile located from the Coliseum. And our Kevin Coe has new information from police and heard from the owner himself of how neighboring business owners are now calling for help.
Nobody knows when it's going to happen, but it does happen over here a lot. From breaking into stores to breaking into vehicles.
Business owner Avraham Halwani works right by Eddie's Cash for Gold pawn shop, where Oakland police say 5 masked men walked in at around 7:45 p.m. Wednesday.
Some of these robbers were armed with firearms. The employees likewise armed themselves, and an exchange of gunfire occurred between the 2 parties.
2 of the suspects were killed, while 3 others were shot, including a 17-year-old. Police say all 5 suspects were from Stockton. One of the workers was shot and is expected to be okay. The surviving suspects were booked on suspicion of murder and attempted robbery.
Due to the violence and the intent of the robbers in initiating this crime and the subsequent deaths, the suspects have been booked on those charges.
It's still unclear who shot who and who opened fire first. The police chief says the employees are not in custody, and it will be up to the district attorney's office to decide if they face any charges.
Based on the investigation, they're cooperating with us right now. That's why they have not been charged. But again, the DA is going to look at every bit of this case and determine if any lesser charges will go against the owners or the operators of that business or elevated charges.
Whether the workers were authorized to carry weapons will be part of the police investigation. But Chief Mitchell addressed the issue of business owners arming themselves for protection.
I don't want anyone to think that we're in a place to where we want our community to become vigilantes.
The shooting comes less than a week after 6 people were shot in multiple shootings north of downtown. Despite the recent violence, Chief Mitchell says the overall numbers are still promising for Oakland.
It is working. It's going to take time. You're going to have these incidents that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks, but when you look at it collectively over the last 18 months, almost 2 years, you're looking at double-digit reductions in violent crime across the city.
But as a business owner, Abraham feels it's not enough and thinks OPD needs more help.
We do need the National Guard, some sort of help. I'm not saying they need to be here permanently. We do need extra help. So if the National Guard, the Highway Patrol, whoever has to come down.
Now taking a closer look at those crime numbers that Police Chief Mitchell referenced to. According to data released by OPD last Sunday, violent crime is down 26% compared to 2024. Robberies, those are down 40%. The driver suspected of a DUI crash, which left 6 people dead in Napa County, expected to be in court this afternoon. That's Norberto Celeriano. He faces 6 counts of murder. The CHP says he was driving under the influence and crashed into a tree, the minivan he was driving over on Pope Valley Road. The families of the victims say that they were farm workers from Stockton who were on their way to help harvest grapes. The community gathering for a fundraiser supporting the families last night, and the daughter of one of the victims, Loreto Ricardo Hernandez, was there.
He was my childhood best friend, my hero, my father, and the one who always taught me a great example to keep going and to get a career and to become someone.
Another fundraiser to help the families will be held in Stockton. That's happening tomorrow. The city of San Jose has been trying to clear its biggest encampment on Columbus Park. There were hundreds of tents and RVs. Now, after several sweeps over the past 3 weeks, there's only a few out there that's left. But as our Andrea Nakano reports, there are still hurdles here for the people who have been left behind.
Raquel used to call Columbus Park home.
Last time I saw this field like this was when I first became homeless in 2012.
She didn't want her face shown on camera, but she was one of the first to call this place home. This is where she eventually raised her son before she was placed into a tiny home.
I get down on myself about that sometimes because it's like, you know, I told myself I would never be homeless with my son because I was when I was a kid.
As she looks at what is now an empty field, she was overwhelmed by a flood of memories.
To see this field is whew, it is truly breathtaking. It's a lot of memories here. You know, a lot of friends passed away here.
Raquel came back on this night to help some of her friends still struggling to find housing.
They had his name. He was one of the first people out here, and now they just dropped him. It's like they don't really care. Like they act like they care about everybody out here, but they really don't.
According to San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan, more than 150 people have been housed as Operation Cleanup Columbus enters its 3rd week, with 65% agreeing to move into temporary housing. Those who are not from Santa Clara County have been referred back to their home county for services. Raquel hopes this will help some of her former neighbors stay off the streets for good, but also knows this isn't a solution for everyone.
There's some people that have been out here so long that it's hard to be in 4 walls. So they will be back out here, maybe not here at this spot, but they will be back out on the streets, unfortunately to say. But for some people, this is that step they need to push them forward and get them a little bit closer to like living a normal life or getting back on track in life.
2 weeks ago, San Jose opened its first ever safe sleeping site near Watson Park for people along the Guadalupe River. There are 56 tents there for families, including 8 that are ADA compliant. It's supposed to be a bridge between an encampment at Columbus Park and stable housing. Hopefully, people get back on their feet. And the city also using former hotel space to help house people. They converted the Bristol Hotel on South Bascom Avenue into housing to give people in Columbus Park a new place to stay safe. It's part of a city-funded program, and it features 66 units for unhoused people. The mayor says another hotel was already full with 42 residents, but more properties will open up in the next coming months. Still ahead, the Valkyries, they're now packing up for the playoffs. Woohoo! They may have to play their first home game, though, at SAP Center, but they're taking their court to go. A behind-the-scenes look at how it's done.
Relative humidity will drop. We'll feel less muggy when we head outside. And then on top of that, too, I mean, we'll get those coastal clouds in the morning hours, but it really starts to pull back into the afternoons day by day. That's the case into Saturday. And there's plenty of events going on Saturday and Sunday. So get out there, get some fresh air, take advantage of this beautiful weather forecast that we have here in the Bay. One thing I want to talk about, though, we do have some gustier conditions. Wind speeds today, anywhere up to around 15 to 20 miles per hour just into our lunchtime hours. Into the evening hours tonight, closer to dinner time, we're up to around a 25 to 30 mile per hour wind speed in places like San Francisco and Bodega Bay. Let's take a look at the next 7 days because there are some changes I want to talk about. We have 70s in the forecast today and tomorrow. Notice how we jumped 10 degrees from Saturday into Monday, just along the Bay alone. Still sunny skies each afternoon and drier conditions too. So it's going to feel a lot more summer-like as we head into next week. And then on top of that, you head over into our inland spots. That's where that moderate heat risk lasts. As we head into next Monday and Tuesday, places like the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley will sit in the upper 90s, close to the triple digits. Places like Antioch, I wouldn't be shocked if we do hit the triple digits. And that's the case as we head into mid next week. So I'll have more on that coming up.
The Golden State Valkyries, they're getting ready for Game 1 of the playoffs this weekend. They're the 8th seed after a blowout loss to the Minnesota Lynx last night, 72-53 here. It was the Valkyries' final game of the regular season. The team will be back in Minnesota on Sunday to face the Lynx again. The Lynx are the #1 seed, though. The Valkyries lost all 4 games against them during the regular season.
The playoff matchup is set. You'll stick around here in Minnesota, take on the Lynx. How do you feel about that matchup, coming off of this game?
Yeah, it's really good. I think there's a lot of positive to it because we just played them. So I think it's then just obviously becomes a little bit of a chess match because now you have film on them. So I take it as a positive. I take that we get to stay here. We don't have to fly. So I also take that as a positive.
Okay, but the Valkyries will host Game 2 of the playoffs Wednesday, but not at Chase Center. At SAP Center in San Jose, they'll be playing on their custom-made home court, though. Juliet Goodrich shows us this hardwood at least has one big advantage, not just for the team, but also for Mother Earth.
When the Valkyries clinched a playoff spot in their inaugural season, superfan Audacious Wilson was both thrilled and satisfied.
That was magical. I knew from the start. I was like, no, we're going to take it and we're going to go all the way.
But going all the way also means a change in venue. Due to a scheduling conflict at Chase Center in San Francisco, the first home playoff game takes place 54 miles south at the SAP Center in San Jose. But no worries, all of Ball Hollow will be there, including the team's state-of-the-art hardwood court.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The court is portable. It's made with interlocking panels that can be taken apart and reassembled like a giant jigsaw puzzle. In a secure loading dock at Chase, 36 pallets containing 400 panels were carefully loaded onto 3 trucks for the journey south. Each panel weighs about 400 pounds.
We specialize in situations like this.
Zach Riberty is with Connor Sports. The company's manufacturing facility in Michigan builds about 800 courts a year. The Valkyries play on their hardwood. It's built with a custom chevron pattern.
As soon as we saw it, we knew it was going to be different. We knew the court was going to be special.
But what makes the Connor court even more special?
The #1 resource we needed for us to be successful is a living, breathing product that comes from the earth.
Maple trees.
We realized we couldn't just go wherever we wanted to go and cut down trees from wherever we wanted to cut down trees.
The company is recognized for using maple sustainably, rotating crops and forests, and using every single piece of wood in a responsible manner. The company is certified by the Rainforest Alliance.
Nothing goes to waste, and we're very mindful of that, and we're also very proud.
So too is Audacious.
We're the Bay Area, we're about sustainability and, and being, creating, ways to improve the environment.
And hopefully harvesting a big win. Go Valkyries!
Go Valkyries. Tickets for the home playoff at SAP Center. They go on sale today. They open to the general public at 6 p.m. Pre-sale has already opened for the season ticket holders. All right, we're looking forward to those games. Meanwhile, the 49ers, they take on the Saints in New Orleans this Sunday, and their offense, it's going to look a little different. The Niners will be without Brock Purdy and George Kittle because of injuries. Purdy could be out anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks, that is. But as Vern Glenn explains for us, his replacement, he's ready to go.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
Mac Jones will start at quarterback for the 49ers on Sunday, and he could have one familiar face to throw to.
Hi, everyone. How you guys doing?
Kendrick Bourne is back in the red and gold and hopes to be on the field as soon as Sunday's game. Bourne and Jones were teammates in New England for 3 seasons after Bourne left San Francisco in 2021.
Just attacking it this week, and I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I remember you once comparing him to your son in a very positive way. Does he still have that personality?
I don't know. I think my son was like 11, 9. He was 9 then. I think they've both grown up a little.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
And for more on this weekend's matchup, join Vern and Matt for the Red and Gold Report tonight at 7:30 on KPIX and streaming also on the free CBS News app. Coming up in our next half hour here on CBS News Bay Area, President Trump says he's deploying the National Guard to another major U.S. city.
The first parade of its kind rolls into KPIX Plus September 20th. From the smooth rides of the 40s to the flash and chrome of the 80s, watch custom lowriders bounce, hop, and roll with style. Award-winning Chevys, classic Fords, and pure automotive artistry. Join Sarah Donchi and myself for King of the Streets Parade, Saturday, September 20th at 1 p.m. Only on KPIX Plus and CBS News Bay Area.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Veronica Macias. Here's another look at our news headlines for you. A suspect now in custody for the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Law enforcement officials have identified the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. This development comes after the FBI released surveillance video overnight of a person seen on the roof of that building, then jumping down. President Trump says a minister and a father of the suspect helped in this arrest. Kirk was shot and killed Wednesday while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. We're learning of another attempted robbery leading to gunfire, this time at a jewelry store in Milpitas. The owner of the store, located on Landess Avenue, fired a gun, scaring off a group of suspects on Wednesday afternoon. The business now boarded up there with broken glass, where someone apparently shot through the window. Police say up to 15 suspects were rushed through the store and tried to steal all the jewelry, but the owner opening fire before they could take anything there. And the suspects also ran off. It's unclear how many shots were fired and if anyone was hurt. BART says it has reached a multi-million-dollar settlement after BART police shot at a woman last year during a traffic stop in Union City. This happened in November of 2022 when BART PD pulled over this woman named Jasmine Gao for reportedly doing donuts in the parking lot. BART claimed that Gao had dragged an officer with her car as she drove away, but body cam shows otherwise. It was released in December, revealing that never happened. BART says it has now issued a notice of intent to terminate that officer involved. Now getting a check of your first alert forecast with meteorologist Jessica Birch. Maybe a little less muggy out there for you.
We have warmer weather on the horizon right around the corner. As we head into this weekend, high pressure builds its way in, and that warms us up and it dries us up. If you think about it, we kicked off this week with cool, cloudy skies all throughout the Bay Area, especially along our coastal communities. A little bit of drizzle in the morning hours, lingering into the afternoons, but that's starting to change fast into this weekend. As high pressure rolls in, we warm up a lot. I mean, we're already up into the upper 80s today in Antioch, low 80s in Livermore, 70s and 80s throughout wine country, with a lot of 80s down into the Santa Clara Valley. I highlight that because because just yesterday we were all in the 70s, and into the next couple days we're actually going to see some 90s in the forecast around the corner. So let's talk about that. Starting off with today. Now that the sun is up, those clouds start to pull back along the coast, and we'll see plenty of sunshine throughout the afternoon hours today, widespread throughout the bay. Today's that good in-between day where if you want to get out there and get some fresh air, it's a great day to do it because it's not too hot just yet in those inland areas, but we're also still seeing sunshine too. Now, as we head into the afternoon hours, one thing we do want to pay attention to has to do with the winds. We're going to start seeing those winds kick up a lot closer to San Francisco, just close to the Golden Gate Bridge into the evening hours tonight. Wind speeds max up to around 25 to 30 miles per hour at times too. So besides that, we're going to see some gusty afternoons ahead of us as we head into the coming days. That alone is okay, but then you factor in a big warm up around the corner and lower relative humidity. Well, those three key ingredients alone cause fire weather conditions. And so we're going to keep a close eye on that as we head into next week, matched with, of course, that moderate heat risk too in our inland areas closer to the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley. Now let's make our way over into the Bay. Places closer to San Francisco and Oakland are sitting in the 70s today, and tomorrow will warm up into the 80s as we head into next week with sunny skies too. Beautiful weather to head out to the beach for sure.
Let's do it. President Trump is expanding the use of the National Guard to help fight crime in another major U.S. city. And the president says this won't be the last deployment. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
President Trump is deploying the National Guard to another major city, telling Fox News he's sending the Guard to Memphis, a city he calls deeply troubled.
We're going to Memphis. I'm just announcing that now, and we'll straighten that out.
National Guard?
National Guard and anybody else we need. And by the way, we'll bring in the military, too, if we need it.
Blue state governors have pushed back against federal intervention in their states, but the president said he's heard from red states that do want help.
The mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy, and the governor, Tennessee. The governor's happy.
FBI data shows Memphis was among the top U.S. cities for violent crime and murder in recent years.
The Trump administration has touted the success of the National Guard deployment in D.C. in reducing crime in the district. The president has called on more governors to ask him for help.
We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do a few at a time. But we're going to straighten out the crime in these cities.
The president said he would still like to deploy the National Guard to Chicago. The government has already stepped up federal resources as part of increased immigration enforcement in the city.
I'm going to do everything in my power and use every single tool at my disposal to ensure the protection of our city.
Democratic leaders in Illinois have threatened legal action if he sends the Guard to that state.
And this week, the Memphis Police Department touted new statistics that show overall crime is at a 25-year low. Tennessee's Republican governor says that he's been in constant communication with the Trump administration to develop a strategic plan to fight crime in Memphis. Authorities in Colorado have identified the teen who they say opened fire at a high school in Denver and a suburb on Wednesday. Investigators say 16-year-old Desmond Hawley used a handgun to shoot 2 of his classmates at Evergreen High School before turning the gun on himself with a deadly shot. The 2 wounded students are now in critical condition, including 18-year-old Matthew Silverstone, shown in this photo. Sheriff deputies are examining the suspect's social media postings and possessions to try to determine a motive. The Federal Trade Commission now launching an inquiry into chatbots and their potential hazards for children. The agency has sent letters to multiple tech giants, including Facebook owner Meta and ChatGPT creator OpenAI. It's asking them if they have evaluated the safety of their chatbots as online champions. A separate lawsuit against OpenAI alleging that a teen's use of ChatGPT led to a suicide. In light of that, the company has launched more safeguards for teens and people in crisis. Still ahead, here a Bay Area city now eyeing taller buildings as a solution to the housing crisis. How the potential could mean the potential loss of affordable housing, which already exists.
What if you evict a whole building of tenants who've lived here a long time to make that happen? Is that necessarily a good thing? We're not interchangeable humans.
In the Bay Area, a new WNBA franchise is taking flight. Catch this first-in-a-lifetime inaugural season as the Golden State Valkyries play live on KPIX and Pix Plus.
Warmer weather is on the horizon for us all throughout the Bay Area. But let's start off in our inland spots where we're going to notice that moderate heat risk the most. As we head into the next couple days, high pressure is starting to roll its way in. That warms us up, it dries us up. Relative humidity is finally going to drop. I know it was a muggy week for us this week, but now we're talking about dry conditions in upper 90s right around the corner. At the same time, you head over into the Bay, closer to San Francisco and Oakland, we're going to notice that warm up too, just not nearly as much as our inland spots. 70s turning into 80s, sunnier skies right around the corner.
A controversial housing plan is one step closer to reality in San Francisco. The mayor was met with both cheers and boos outside of City Hall yesterday ahead of a key vote that could reshape housing in the city. The plan is to allow taller residential buildings in neighborhoods that have traditionally been resistant to more housing. Lauren Toms was there during that back and forth.
Tensions ran high on the steps of City Hall as Mayor Daniel Lurie touted his plan to drastically increase housing in San Francisco.
Thank you, Mayor! Thank you, Mayor!
The initiative, dubbed the Family Zoning Plan, aims to build 36,000 homes in the city's northern and western neighborhoods by allowing taller buildings near major transit corridors. The goal, to make a dent in the state's mandate for San Francisco to build more than 80,000 units by 2031.
Our Family Zoning Plan makes critical updates to the zoning code, a code that has not changed in 50 years. The state has given us a clear requirement, and if we don't act, we risk losing funding and our ability to decide what gets built and where.
But his plan drew boos and chants from a crowd of dozens who claim the initiative will demolish rent-controlled units. Fred Sherburne Zimmer says she was pushed out of the city into the East Bay because of affordability and says Lurie's plan will harm low-income San Franciscans.
The upcoming plan could demolish large amounts of rent-controlled housing. It has almost no protections to the tenants of those units.
But supporters say the goal is to preserve affordable units, replacing any rent-controlled housing that may be demolished in the process.
It means more availability because more homes can finally be built across all of our neighborhoods. It means more affordability because more homes add more affordability, both through supply and also through the inclusionary homes and fees that come with that development.
But that wasn't enough to convince the opposition, who worried the plan will harm the city's historic charm and what's left of affordable living in San Francisco. They fear developers and private investments will make the city more expensive to live in.
No one believes your NIMBY nonsense. Sit down.
But Lurie insists the goal is to incentivize more families to live and stay in San Francisco.
Families and workers should be able to live in San Francisco. Not just visit on weekends or commute from the greater Bay Area, but live and grow and thrive here.
For Fred, she's not convinced. She says she needs to see more protections for rent-controlled units so others won't be pushed out of the place she once called home.
What if you evict a whole building of tenants who've lived here a long time to make that happen? Is that necessarily a good thing? We're not interchangeable humans. This is our homes. These are our families.
And the Planning Commission heard hours of public comment on the plan and eventually gave its approval. The Board of Supervisors, they now have the final say. The newly renovated Stern Grove Playground has reopened in San Francisco's Sunset neighborhood. The playground on Sloat Boulevard has been transformed into a treehouse village. There's new climbing nets, swings, a slide, and a nature exploration zone for families.
What do you think of the new playground?
Good.
What do you like about it?
The slide.
It's cool?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I like going down it. It's just so much fun.
Get outside, kids. The upgrades and the renovations cost about $4.1 million. Still ahead, we're getting a sneak peek at the latest free concerts coming to the Bay Area, why organizers say it's just so important that everyone has access to events like these.
I don't want to inhibit any cultural moments. I want everybody to experience what's beautiful about San Francisco.
Relative humidity will drop. We'll feel less muggy when we head outside. And then on top of that, too, I mean, we'll get those coastal clouds in the morning hours, but it really starts to pull back into the afternoons day by day. That's the case into Saturday. And there's plenty of events going on Saturday and Sunday. So get out there, get some fresh air, take advantage of this beautiful weather forecast that we have here in the Bay. One thing I want to talk about, though, we do have some gustier conditions. Wind speeds today, anywhere up to around 15 to 20 miles per hour just into our lunchtime hours. Into the evening hours tonight, closer to dinner time, we're up to around a 25 to 30 mile per hour wind speed in places like San Francisco and Bodega Bay. Let's take a look at the next 7 days because there are some changes I want to talk about. We have 70s in the forecast today and tomorrow. Notice how we jumped 10 degrees from Saturday into Monday, just along the Bay alone. Still sunny skies each afternoon and drier conditions too. So it's going to feel a lot more summer-like as we head into next week. And then on top of that, you head over into our inland spots. That's where that moderate heat risk lasts. As we head into next Monday and Tuesday, places like the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley will sit in the upper 90s, close to the triple digits. Places like Antioch, I wouldn't be shocked if we do hit the triple digits. And that's the case as we head into mid next week. So I'll have more on that coming up.
The city of San Francisco closing out a summer that was full of great live music for people, from the Grateful Dead to Outside Lands. There's been a little of something just for everyone. And you can say that the party's not over yet. Lorene Ayub gives us a look at what we could look forward to.
Yeah. It's just another day at the office at Empire. Artist La Russell, who recently collaborated with the company, arrives to meet its founder, Ghazi. The independent music powerhouse is celebrating 15 years in business with a free concert at Civic Center, featuring performances by artists like Shabuzi. Ghazi says making the event free to the public was a non-negotiable.
You know, I'm a big believer that access creates culture, and I don't want to inhibit any cultural moments. I want everybody to experience what the company's about. I want everybody to experience what's beautiful about San Francisco, and I felt like there was no place better to do it than at Civic Center in front of City Hall.
Working alongside Mayor Daniel Lurie, Ghazi says the city's new leadership is already creating more space for culture to thrive.
He thought it was wonderful. I mean, we all know what music and art and entertainment can do to revive a city, and if you've paid attention this summer, every single week there's something going on musically in the city, so it's been pretty awesome.
The free concert and anniversary marks a milestone for both the company and Ghazi. Despite countless accolades for his accomplishments in the music industry, Ghazi says his steady motivation remains rooted in supporting his global team of over 250 people.
I've been jogging for 15 years. Sprints will wear you out, but I've been jogging for 15 years straight. Who knows when I'll be in the final stretch, but I'm still jogging.
He hopes the celebration will inspire the Bay Area's diverse communities to enjoy their city and never stop dreaming.
I'm a product of my environment, and so if the city could produce this level of success for me, and my environment can produce this level of success for me, then I hope that it inspires other people to do the same, on a micro level or a macro level.
No matter the level, the celebration is open to everyone.
And the Empire 15 concert, that's tomorrow starting at 3 p.m. at Civic Center Plaza. As you heard, it's free to attend, but it's recommended that you RSVP online. The 77th Annual Emmy Awards will air this Sunday on KPIX. The awards, they celebrate the best and the brightest in television. Dina Demetrius has a preview of the big event.
With the red carpet now out at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, the countdown has begun.
We're going to go write more today and then tomorrow and rehearse.
Emmy host and comedian Nate Bargatze is set to bring his family-friendly style to the big stage for the first time.
I think I need to be entertainment, and I need to be a place where people can come and have some comfort.
I actually want to talk to you about awards season.
This year, the comedy series The Studio on Apple TV earned a record 23 nominations.
Hollywood loves to award Hollywood. So when it comes to a show like The Studio and even Hacks, that could pay off in a really big way for them.
The four of you have become known as the face
of severance reform.
But with 27 nominations, the dystopian Apple TV series Severance is likely to dominate the evening.
The prodigal son returns.
With stiff competition from HBO Max's medical series, The Pit.
39 big names, including Catherine Zeta-Jones and Jude Law, are part of the star-studded lineup of presenters this year.
Look at the evidence.
Fellow presenter and star of the CBS reboot Matlock, Kathy Bates, has already made history with her Emmy nod.
She is the oldest nominee in the category for lead actress in a drama and is likely going to take home that trophy.
Emmy producers say the audience can also expect some nostalgic moments.
We've got a good Paradise moment with Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden, but we also have a reunion of two actors from Grey's Anatomy celebrating 20 years.
A tribute to some iconic shows on television's biggest night.
Again, you can watch the Emmys at 5 p.m. this Sunday on KPIX, also streaming on Paramount+. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Veronica Macias. We'll be right back with your First Alert forecast and a look at your top stories.